I just adore this image by Christy, and this one is called I, and it is a image I got via her Patreon site, and I just had to color this girl up. Just love her hair. I'm just going to play a bit of music and then the coloring will continue, and I'll get back to you when the coloring is done and we get to the card making part. Now that the colouring is done, let's get to the card making. I've already die cut the image using an oval die from MFT and then a larger one from a glitter cardstock to put behind the image itself. And I want to make the card a bit more colourful, or the background of the card really. And for the background I'm going to be using this stencil from MFT, and I'll be inking it with Distress Oxide ink called Wilted Violet. I just want it to be kind of like purple rays behind the coloured image. So I'm just filling in these little blank spots really. And then I noticed that the rays are quite short. So I'm just extending each and every ray so it reaches to the end of the card really. This is quite easy to do. It takes a little bit of time, not too much, but it does add a lot to the background image as a whole. I just really like how this ink moves on the cardstock, and it just gives it a bit more frame as such. And since I'm using oxide inks, I want to splatter a bit of water around it to make it oxide a little bit. Not too much because this is not watercolor paper, but I just want a little bit of interest. Now all I need to do is to assemble the main image, and I'm adding a bit of foam tape to the coloured image itself, and then I'm also adding a layer of foam tape underneath the glitter cardstock. So this will be raised quite a bit. I like that, especially when I'm making simpler cards. I like to have them popping up. And I'm just sticking this down to this white doily, and then the center image goes on top of that oval. And then I need to figure out where to place the image on the card. I was thinking about having it in the lower corner, but then this didn't feel right. So I want it to be more of a centered-ish kind. And then I had trouble with covering up that little white spot. So I was trying to figure out which flowers would work best. And I do love these Prima flowers, but they are just too big for the card. So I decided to just stick it down in the center, and then I would figure out what flowers I could use. And then I'm just basically adding these flowers, all kinds. These are white and pinks and purple or violet. And I'm just figuring out where to put these. I'm making two separate little clusters really, one at the bottom and one at the top, to kind of help frame the image. And then after fiddling around and figuring out where to put these flowers, I'm all done really, just putting the last few buds where I think they fit best. Then at the end I added several gems here and there, and that basically completes my card. Very simple card, just with little tiny touches of colour and a bit of sparkliness, using this beautiful image by Christy.